A very good afternoon to everybody. I hope I am both visible and audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, a very good afternoon to all of you who have joined us today to learn more about trends. I know that you have been listening to a lot of speakers telling you a lot of things about trends, about how good it is to study at trends. So today, for this afternoon session, I'm going to talk about uh, how great it is to be living at trends while studying in trends. And helping me with the presentation is our junior school home row teacher, Ms. Miranda. Hi, Ms. Miranda.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Uh, Hostel life is such an integral part of a student's educational period. I don't know in my audience how many of you have actually experienced that. How many of you have actually been a part of a residential school? Either how many of you have been a part of a school hostel, a school boarding? If you can put that into your chat box, we'll know how many of you have been part of the boarding. Either yes or no. Actually, I was never fortunate enough to be part of the school hostel, and I only realized what I missed when I started my career as a teacher, and that is when I realized that boarding is the best part of school life. It's such a special part of school life. If you miss it now, you will not get it later, and which is why my advice to all the parents is give your children a chance to be part of the boarding while they can. It is such a unique experience, and it builds so many bonds that stay with them throughout their life. At Trends, we offer different types of boarding. We have boarders who come and stay with us throughout the term and just go home for the term breaks, that is the Onam and the Christmas. And we have boarders who come and stay with us for the week and go home on the weekends. And we also provide a special kind of boarding for our parents who normally send their students as day scholars, but who might have to go away for a month on some business or personal um, requirements, and would like to avail our hostel. So we are a very flexible boarding system. Our main concern is we try to do what is best for our children. What you see on the screen are the two blocks of our hostel. One is for the girls and the other is for the boys. And the center picture is actually an aerial image of our school. As you can see, we have a very scenic location. We are surrounded by plantations and greenery, and its ambience is something that I believe that children should have when they go to school. It's a green school. The school mission is learning for life. That is what we try to do. We try to make them into lifelong learners with a passion for learning and caring. And in this school hostel, there is one cardinal rule that we abide by, and that is that everything we do, directly or indirectly, should be for the well-being of our hostelers. That is the most important role in a hostel. Here are some basic structures of our hostel life. We have the rooms, like our rooms are actually where our rooms are airy, big, spacious, And all the students from the smaller classes up to grade 12, they have rooms. We do not have the dormitory system. We accept boarders from third grade all the way up to grade 12. And whatever the age, they are always housed in rooms with children of their age group. We do not have a dormitory system. They have a room, three sharing or four sharing, depending on the size of the rooms. Some of the rooms are really large L-shaped rooms, and some of them we share three. But whether they share three or four, the rooms are very, very spacious with plenty of ventilation and very good view, right, on all sides. What you see next is a swimming pool. It's a state of the art swimming pool, but we are really more proud of what we've achieved with that for our students. Our students have actually won awards and medals, not just in the city or in the state, but even at the national levels. You know, we have swimmers who have qualified to the nationals. We have, I would say that swimming is a competition in which invariably there is a huge number of medals that are won by all the participants. We have a very strong uh, swimming department, and our children are trained systematically throughout the year, and the result is proof of that. Then the dining hall, of course, we will be talking a lot more about the dining, both the menu as well as the protocol there in later slides. And so is this the same with the playgrounds. Sports is an integral part of TRINS. So let me begin to give you a brief glimpse of what happens in the hostel, starting with the weekends. The weekends are very vibrant. You have on your screen uh, actually the testimonial by Nayonika Chakrabarti. She is a grade 10 student. She has been with the school for the school hostel for more than 5 years, and you can read what she has written, like, you know, the emotions they feel, it comes out in the way they write. They have so much of an emotional bonding with the school. Nayonika has had come to us as a uh, hesitant, shy little girl, and now she's one of the confident people who step forward for whatever competitions, whatever activities that we are offering. So it was so good to watch her transformation. Again, these are some of the weekend activities that we offer at TRINS, of course. Like in any good home, a part of the weekend is dedicated to studies at TRINS. There is a time set apart for children to complete their homework and revise what has been taught the previous week, so as to be ready for the week that is coming. And that is a part of the weekend. And another part of the weekend are all the games and fun activities that they do. So sometimes, you know, it can be simple games like the tag that you see on your screen, or at other times it can be an organized meditation yoga exercise which is conducted by our yoga master. We have a full-time yoga master on board. So then that those are some of the weekend activities they do. Or it can be the children themselves organizing and conducting events which bring out the talents of all of them. And they plan together in a group and they execute that. And art, of course, is another very important part of weekend activities. We have a very strong art team, and our children just love their art classes. Yes, the hostel night is a very special part of TRINS. They look forward to that. We have two hostel nights generally. One is at the beginning of the academic year, which is generally called the freshers night. That is actually the time when the new students who join the hostel are actually made to feel welcome, made to feel part of the hostel. That's basically like an icebreaker where inhibitions are shed and everybody is encouraged to bring out and display all the talents and all the all the talents and all the things that they can do and bond together as a team. So they dance, they sing, they play instruments, whatever they are good at, and they're encouraged. And that is the beginning of bonding at trains. That is a freshers night. And the other hostel night is at the end of the academic year, just after the examinations, when they break for summer. It's a sort of a farewell for the long summer month. So hostel nights, whether it's at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year, are eagerly looked forward to, because that is a time when everybody participates. There is only one fundamental rule in the hostel nights, is that everyone does something or the other. There are no mere spectators. Everybody is a participant and everybody is a spectator. Trips are a very important part of the learning experience that we offer in the TRINS hostel. Uh, uh, the the where we go on these trips depend on the length of the weekend. Whenever we have a longer weekend, uh, the trips are to further away places. It's they go into the ghats, into the mountains, and the activities would become trekking, rock climbing, etc. Of course, the trips that you see, the buses, that is actually as much part of the weekend trips and as much fun as the actual experience itself. And if it is a shorter weekend, then we go to neighborhood places, like maybe to the beaches of Alleppey. What you saw was the uh, very famous Kerala event, the snake boat race, which happens during the time of Onam. Our students had gone to witness that. So these are all unique experiences. So we try to give the children as varied an experience as possible in the hostel. Miranda, the slide is not fully in. Yes, thank you. Yes, and sometimes the weekends can be a very short outing. It can be like twice a month on a weekend, the students go out to the neighborhood places. It may be to the mall, the local mall, to the local shopping center, maybe to a movie, or maybe just for an eat out. Whatever it is really looked forward to, and the children have a great time. Sometimes the weekends are spent at home in the school, but it's it's incredibly enjoyable. These are something they look forward to. What you're seeing there actually is our campus. It's a weekend they spent in at home in the hostel, but out in our grounds with a bonfire, with roasted marshmallows, with music and dancing, and under the stars. That becomes a very enjoyable experience, something they really look forward to every year. Sports actually is so important in every student's life, whether you are a hosteler or a day scholar. Sports is an educative experience. It's not just for fun. There's a lot of skills and training that goes with it, that stays with them throughout life. You have testimonials from two of our students, Salvino Henry, who was a hostel captain. He joined us in year 11, and he was a hostel captain, very actively involved in all the activities of the hostel. You can read what he says. It is so much from his heart. that he was heart and soul into sports. It was like the air he breathes. And you have Ajita. Actually, she was she is a very uh, she's a sports person, you know. She's not only won awards at state level, she's qualified for the national levels in swimming, and she's also won a lot of medals in track and field events. She's a real sportswoman. These are some of the sports we offer. We try to offer as all the varieties of sports so that every child gets to play whatever he or she is fond of and is good at and is enthusiastic about. We have a tennis court. Actually, we have two of them. We have a full-time tennis coach as part of our PE department. We have a basketball court and a basketball PE master. We have sports. We have football, as you can see there. We have volleyball, and we have a lot of track and field events. We do have an PE sir who does the athletics training. We also have other sports not shown here like table tennis and badminton. So we try to give the students whatever they would like to do. And actually, one of the rules that we follow in not only in the hostel, in the school, is that everybody plays all of these games at some time or the other, so that they have the basic skills in that. And wherever they show promise or interest, then they become part of the school team for that particular game. Again, we have testimonials about another very special event at the TRINS hostel. Like I think many of the earlier speakers said, we are not focused on academics alone. What we try is to give them a holistic education, which will help them when they move out of the portals of our institution into the wider world. And knowing how to conduct themselves in formal occasions is a very important part of the world that they will be moving into. So we do have a formal dinner organized every year, hosted by the school management, which is a five-course dinner, a sit-down dinner where they are taught not just the table etiquette, but also the social graces of fine dining. And you can see the testimonial on your screen by Krishna Anand, who was a hostel captain earlier. And yeah, she has said that if she could relive one moment, it would be the formal dinner. So you can imagine how much, they enjoyed that. And of course, no formal dinner is complete without dance and music, which invariably follows after that, you can see. These are all slides of the formal dinner. You can see principal, he was the chief guest at one of these, Mr. Sanjay, and Ms. Renzi and myself, we've all been part of this formal dinner, and it's so good to see the children enjoying themselves. Again, the formal dinner, the dances, most of these slides you see is after the dinner, the dances and the music, and of course the selfies. You can't beat the selfies. Celebrations are such a bonding experience. It brings the hostel together as a family, and we celebrate all the festivals irrespective of which religion it falls under or which state it comes from, and everybody, participates in it wholeheartedly. Ormita, she was a head girl of the previous year. She has been with the hostel for more than 8 years. And, it was very interesting to see that when she became the head girl, she actually, she changed the entire student council because she had so much of experience with the TRINS. She actually knew what was best for her home, which is what is the hostel and the school. And so they played so much more of an active role the previous year. We had both the hostel the head girl and the head boy were from the hostel, and it made a big difference last year, and they took it in a different direction. And then you have Avantika. She has been with us for more than 5 years. Again, you can see read the testimonials for yourself. It's written from their heart. Whatever they've said, we've just put it up for you to see. Diwali, of course, is a festival of lights. Yes, so this is Diwali with the Rangoli competitions. There are groups that make these Rangoli competitions and they are judged. There are firecrackers, they light the lamps, they dance, have the traditional dances that go with Diwali. It's a fun-filled occasion and a very bonding experience. Yes, you can see the rangolis in various stages of completion and the children's dances. These are all part of Diwali celebration. But of course, we are a Kerala school. So this the festival that we celebrate with a lot of vigor is the Onam. The Onam being the festival of Kerala. Everybody, it's a big experience for many of our students who are not actually coming from Kerala. This gives them an idea of what the state is about and the state's culture. So we do this. You have what you're seeing on the right hand side is Attapookalam. That is a competition. We do this as a competition between the four houses. So there are four of these humongous Pookalam designs that come up with, and the children make that according to the specific instructions given, and they are judged. So this is where their creativity comes, their artistic talents come out, how they balance color and the design and compete for the first prize of Attapukulam. And the hostel, actually, the hostel has an entire Attapukulam for itself. So all the hostel children, irrespective of whichever house they pitch into that, so we have 5 of these on our grounds. And of course, we have the traditional Onam lunch, which is eaten off the banana leaves, seated cross-legged on the floor, which is the first time many of them actually eat lunch sitting on the floor, but they just love that. And then we have a lot of fun activities like the tug of war or the Uriadi, which is trying to break the pot which is hanging up blindfolded and swinging above the head of the person who's trying to break it, or traditional dances like the Rivadira, Mohiniyattam, etc. And a fancy dress. The fancy dress during the Onam festival actually has to be in traditional attire. So actually they are dressed the traditional Kerala attires. It can be from any state, but it does not have to be from Kerala, but can be from any state. But it's a traditional attire competition, fancy dress competition there. Holi, though not very widely celebrated in Kerala, is very much celebrated at TRINS. And you only need to look at our students after they finish playing Holi to know that it is the festival of colors. As you can see, all our students are multicolored by the time they finish playing Holi. Christmas is a celebration that brings home the joy of giving. And that is what we do at TRINS, whether it is exchange of gifts between students in the classrooms or exchange of Christmas gifts among the staff, or charities that go out to institutions and people who well deserving institutions and people. That is a spirit that is kept alive at TRINS. Even this year, in spite of the pandemic and the lockdown, our student council is actually spearheading a mega Christmas bake sale initiative, the proceeds of which will go to charity. And they have been enthusiastically uh, seeking, asking people to buy their cakes, and even offered people who are not in Trivandrum and cannot physically collect a cake to buy a cake and donate it to the old homes or to orphanages, so that they too can have a very enjoyable Christmas. So the spirit of giving is what comes out through Christmas, and the children are actually wholeheartedly involved in that. And it's so good to see the effort they take, and that is how empathy is built. We're very proud of them. Pastoral care at TRINS is the most special factor of TRINS, is what I would say, because this is not just the effort of the hostel crew. It is not just a warden or the resident teachers. It is by everybody at TRINS actually, for is part of the pastoral care at TRINS, whether it is our counselor who spends time talking to the hostlers, giving them a patient ear, hearing to everything they have to say, or whether it is our day teachers who volunteer to come and do some of the prep supervision, or actually take some special classes for students with who have doubts, or the hostel's resident staff themselves who uh, absolutely volunteer to come forward to supervise the children at their study hours and during their other activities. And there is a regular report that goes from the hostel to the parents, detailing everything about their life at TRINS hostel, whether it is to do with sports, the medals they've won, the games they've participated, the external activities they've been part of, or the academics, whether they are doing what they are excelling at, what they need help with, what are we make suggestions to them, uh, everything to do with the students, and how, if they have had illnesses, that is of course notified, even minor illnesses, everything that the child experiences at the hostel is actually reported back to the parent. And we do have a system of dorm parenting. Every resident teacher at TRINS is actually the dorm parent for a small group, like about 10 students, and she or he would be their first point of contact. It's like having a parent resident in the hostel, and they are involved in everything that the child has is doing, whether it's academics or extracurricular or health or everything. The dorm parent actually fills in that role of a parent in the hostel. And then, of course, our principal is a resident principal. So the children benefit from the wisdom and the company that he gives. So, and we do have a warden. We have exclusive dedicated hostel staff who are not part of the teaching fraternity. And then we have the teaching fraternity who stay in the hostel. So pastoral care is a huge network which is held together by their collective love for the students under our care.
So I
There are
have
some
been
testimonials.
trans for I have been in trans for 3 years now, and honestly speaking, I did feel really homesick initially. But then my dorm parent really stepped in and filled in the parental figure role in my life, becoming both my mom and dad. And whenever I thought about it, it brought a warm feeling to my chest, making me feel like, oh, I do belong here. And keeping your school life aside, keeping your professionalism aside, when you come down to hostel, you relax and you de-stress yourself. And there are of course days when you would have had a bad day and then you go and open up to your dorm parent because you have this certain level of comfortness around them, you feel comfortable and you have this emotional bonding to them because you're bonded.
Yeah,
So
Ananya came to us. Ananya came to us when she was in grade 8. Yeah, and I remember Ananya's mother was saying, like, oh, we were talking and she said, oh, you are so transparent. Like, everything that you do is so open. And I believe she was shown around by the hostel by some of the students themselves. Like, and it was open. Anything she asked, any questions she asked was answered so directly, so frankly. So this was a testimonial from the parents saying that you are what you profess to be. You're absolutely transparent.
When I come down to hostel from school, I actually keep my professionalism away and just chill out. We actually maintain an emotional bonding with each other, especially with our friends, dorm parents, and wardens. Whatever problems we have, we actually go to them. We can open up to them anytime, as they will be there for us anytime to help us, guide us, and tackle our problems. And now, talking about the collaboration and planning, we actually have teamwork in whatever we do, whether it's a sport, activity, let it be studies, anything. We have that collaboration, planning, and even it's individually, we actually help each other for each other's sake. It's just our second home.
Absolutely. It is their second home. And what Ashwin brought about is how the older students at the hostel actually they are mentors and guides for the younger. They are a family where the oldest brothers and sisters actually they look after the younger ones and they bond together so much. It's a twins family. Every member of that is an integral part of our family. And of course, we do have children from all over the world. And one thing that many of the parents uh, have said repeatedly several times is the ease with which they kind of integrate into our school society. Our children are so used to diversity. They welcome that, and the more diverse you are, the more things to celebrate. So there is never any ostracism, no matter which part of the world you come in. You're welcomed with open arms, and the difference is seen as something to be celebrated. So that is a beautiful aspect of Trins Hostel and the school also. We believe that in unity we have diversity.
Trins has been my home for the past 2 years.
Neha actually is a senior student. She's been with us 2 years, but you can listen to her experience of how Trins was special for her, although she's been with us only for 2 years.
Years, and hostel has been great to me. The teachers, the students, and the wardens all equally. It really widens your experiences and gives you a schedule to follow, which really helps you prepare yourself for a lot of things to come. You get a lot of sports. You get accustomed to different foods over there, and you learn to adjust to situations, which can help us in the future. And I hope everyone has a good time in hostel like I did, with friends and getting close to different people and creating bonds. Thank you.
Yes, now we come to the very important part of hostel, which is about academics. So far, we've been talking of all the other things about how it builds character, how it builds leadership, how it bonds them, helps them form friendships that last a lifetime. But all of this, the basic reason why they're being sent to us is to get an education, and that involves academics. Now, academics, you can see that from the schedule that is put up, we have junior a different schedule for juniors children and another one for the seniors, for the simple reason the juniors need less of study time than the seniors. So yes, you can see they have a single study there, which is more than an hour, and you know, so that is the time. It's a supervised study time. There are dorm parents or resident teachers, and there's some other the day teachers also volunteer. They stay back. So usually there are a mixture of both supervising their study. They get a chance to ask doubts if they have, so that they have somebody to help them with their homework and with their study. And then the schedule you saw towards the end from 8:30 to 9, they have free time. When you say free time, it means the time they can pursue the activity they want to do. It can be reading a book, it can be playing a board game with their friends, it can be practicing music, or it can be watching news. Actually, they have a variety of choices. So that we do believe in giving them choices in their hostel life. It's not everybody doing the same thing. And this is a senior schedule. They do have two study preps, and both are supervised. There are very specific directions as to when they can use their laptops, when they cannot use their laptops, and we have both the resident as well as the non-resident teachers supervising prep. We have teachers now because of the pandemic now. This is we also have teachers logging in to help them with work that they find difficult with. So one of the parents once told me that what they have never seen anywhere else, and what's so special about TRINS the is our teachers. He said, I don't know, but if my child asks your teacher, I didn't understand something, they call her for a special session just to explain that for one child. He said, that's something so unique to your school. I haven't had that in my previous school. So that is how committed our teachers are. So they would spend time to make sure that the children are all, where they should be, in that zone that they should be as far as academics is concerned. And they very willingly give up or volunteer their time to help the students, because they're all our students. It's a fundamental thing. They're all ours. What you're seeing there actually is I know it's too small to read, but it's color coded, and it's a different kind of activities that we plan for them. This would be put up in the website once the school hostel becomes completely functional. So what you see as a purple coded is activities for the younger age group. The green would be for the middle age group, and the yellow would be for the seniors, so that they have age appropriate activities during the day and during the weekend. Food is something we actually specialize in. Food is catered to by our own caterers, and a lot of importance is given to healthy eating. We stress the importance of eating well and eating healthy, avoiding unhealthy food, maida-based items, and margarine-based items. We do not have chemicals or artificial flavors in our food. It's wholesome, good, home-cooked meals that that the children have. And not only that, the children have a lot of say in what is on their menu. Every Wednesday menu is decided by the students themselves. We have a hostel captain, and we have senior hostel students who actually have discussions with the younger age group, and they come up with a menu which caters to everybody's likes, and make sure that everyone's favorite food finds its way into the Wednesday menu and one week or the other. So that's the menu given by them, which is catered to by our hostel kitchen. So Wednesday menu is this, and we have both vegetarian and non-vegetarian food. And of course, there is a lot of emphasis on fruit juice and cut fruit rather than on carbonated drinks. We do not encourage that at all. So food is healthy, wholesome, and fresh. With that, I come to the end of my presentation. So if you have any further doubts, you could contact Danya James, admission officer, later on. Or if you have any questions, you could actually ask them now. I would be happy to field them. Thank you, Miranda.